In this video we take a different look at compressor and gate. This time I'm using a drum loop, and this drum loop is not routed into any stereo out. So I've cut it a bit so that here I only have a simple bass drum, and then here the beat starts again. I remove this from my output, and now I have a pad sound from this track. See the link below. So this is the sounds stem, and on this sound stem I put a compressor, and now I choose an external sidechain input. That also can be called key input, because sidechaining usually means you route stuff in and out. And here we have detection and the filter, so we can listen to the sound. And now I turn the filter off and see how the compressor reacts. This is very fast and flattering because I detect it with peak. And if I let the compressor react to a hi-hat signal, this will be even more extreme. For example, if I filter like this, as an opposite to this, I can let the compressor react much more slowly. I turn down the detection speed to RMS, which means it reacts slower because the peaks change slower, and turn up the times for the compressor and let it react to, let's say, a bass drum signal. And we get some more slow and pumping reaction from this compressor, which is more typical use for it if you want to modulate a signal like a pad with a compressor via external sidechaining and drums like this. As opposed to this, we have a noise gate, and the noise gate only turns the signal on when there is a trigger in the external sidechain, while the compressor lowers the signal when the drums from the other track play. So it's easier to understand when you hear the difference. So whenever there's drums here, this thing will react. And I can also use a filter and listen to the input. Let's say I cut off the highs and I turn up the times a little bit and switch off the monitor. And now this sounds rather different. So now let's choose a setting in between and explain hysteresis. Hysteresis means a kind of second threshold. So usually a gate does something when the signal is lower than the threshold. And then in this case I'm turning the signal down 100 dB. Hysteresis is a second threshold that decides when the gate will close again. So if I turn hysteresis lower, that means the signal has to be much lower in order for the gate to close. Let's at first hear the threshold and its closing affection, or what it does to make the gate close. I'm turning down the release times a bit. And I turn off the filter. So you can hear when I turn down the threshold, the signal stays on, the gate remains open. And I can also turn down the reduction. That means you can constantly hear something what's left. So the gate doesn't close 100%, but only reduces volume. So now, when I work with hysteresis, then the gate will only close if the signal goes really low. So what you can also hear is that the pronunciation of the pad signal is now more on the bar, on the beat, because the gate opens when there is a signal, while as if you use a compressor, the compressor lowers the signal in case of a beat.